Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. We're going to have a fantastic conversation. I'm John. We're going to have a great conversation with Mike.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Jackson.
How's it you?
And Artie is going to try and keep us on cue, on track, on whatever. But where we're at, we're going to try and stay there with Artie's help.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the person in the trolley problem, except I'm flipping the switch back and forth.
The answer to the trolley problem is a superposition of the switch. It's
The
both
answer to
one
the-
or two.
So the answer to the trolley problem, somebody actually has it. It's you wait for the first set of wheels to pass, and then you pull the switch, so the second wheels, and it stops the car. Or rolls the car. Either way, nobody
Derails the
gets
car.
Or rips it in half and it actually goes through and finishes the job on both tracks.
Actually,
saying.
you'd be surprised to
mean-
know that it's called splitting a switch, and it happens way more often than you think. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting when you see railroad cars doing like a Tokyo drift through the rail yard, you know?
Well, I'm glad we've got this little mental imagery. Artie, you're supposed to keep us on track. How about I give us give the agenda here? So we're going to be talking about the AI bubble again. There's an update I want to share with you guys. I want to share with you guys how to spot a deepfake. This is actually a life skill that'll survive for about a week or two until deepfakes figure out how to get around it.
It's getting harder.
RAM prices. Yeah, it is. It is. RAM prices. They're coming down. Don't know how much down. Don't know how long it's going to go down, but they're going down. There was a hack on routers where a bad actor group decided to start stealing Microsoft OAuth tokens, meaning they can get into your entire account.
Good thing we all have to register for a Microsoft account now, huh?
Yes. It's the wave of the future. That and age verification. You know, just on that one, the age verification, you know, we talk about identity theft, and now we have to put our identity into computers. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh yes, computers, the safest, most unbreakable things in the universe.
Mm.
Oh. Let's talk about glowing plants. Jackson, you had that.
Yeah, you want to get into it now?
Maybe. Last one on the agenda, guys. Microsoft is losing control. The Windows control panel is going away.
Oh,
Good
I was
one.
gonna say,
Good
wait.
one.
wait, this is news? Wait, what?
They're listening to
say-
their users by ignoring their users. Got it.
Microsoft isn't losing control. You are.
They're taking control from us, which, you know, I guess that's their prerogative. But why not? It's Microsoft. You will do what the Microslop tells you to do. They don't like that name. I want control. Until they give me control, they're Microslop. But yeah, let's talk glowing plants, Jackson. That's a fun one.
Oh, yeah, sure. This is just a fun little tidbit. There have been some scientists in China that have been working on genetically modifying your favorite plants to glow in the dark. Their goal is to they've been actually genetically like encoding these plants to use bioluminescent something. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I don't get it. I like technology. And well, basically the idea is they're gonna throw these up in parks and in cities. And I mean, I'm not sure how much light they actually give off in the video. You know, it seems pretty impressive. But you know, I mean, that's all dependent on your camera and stuff and what settings you have. But it's definitely glowing. So Avatar might become a reality, but it's here on Earth.
So
We
I
fun?
remember reading about a European company that was doing that for trees, so that they would have bioluminescent trees for people when they're walking in the park at night.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. Now, what they've got, it's more like fauna and like flowers is what it looks like. So they had a list somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Which ones they were successfully able to genetically engineer.
It would be the leaves, I would guess, not the actual plants or whatnot, like the stems, trunks.
The stem looks like it's glowing.
So
I wish I could show it, but anyway, go on. I'll keep looking for this list.
Years ago, I just remember the idea of, if the fruit is glowing, don't eat it. We've never had that problem as a human race before, but now we have to be cautious. If the food is glowing, should we eat it or not?
I mean, humans are very much like moths. We're attracted to things that glow. It's like if humans were at the deep ocean, we'd all get eaten by anglerfish because it's like, ooh, shiny. Go over, get eaten.
I can see this for like a Venus flytrap.
I think
that'd
it would be
pretty
really
cool.
Really
like
cool.
It would attract the bugs at night.
Now
That'd
you're talking.
Cool. Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Sundew.
Yeah, it's hard to see. I mean, they're making claims that they're going to be able to like light up parks and cities at night, but I mean,
so
that has got to be super dark still. Though.
So what is a sunflower like? Literally a sunflower now? I mean,
so what they said they've got. I found they have a short list. It's not a complete one, but more than 20 species, including orchids, sunflowers, and I'm going to butcher this word, chrysanthemums.
Chrysanthemums.
What are those?
Yeah.
Is that a flower?
They're flowers, yes.
I've never. All right. Well,
I remember learning that word when I was like 5 or 6 years old, but it's not one I've used a lot since then. It's not a hugely talked about or popular. I mean, I go to flower store. It's always, roses, tulips, carnations, that sort of thing.
Usually in the flower store, they shorten it to mums.
Yeah, mums. Yeah.
A chrysanthemum by any other name. Wait, no, it's rose.
It's a chrysanthemum. Is a chrysanthemum. Is a chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Until it glows.
Anyway, could be really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe we could plant those around the data centers to make us, not pay attention to how noisy the things are, how big an eyesore they are. It's like, ooh, it's glowing. Let's have more of those.
It's like,
did you guys hear? What's that?
I was saying it's like we do with everything in tech. You put lights on it, you put RGB on it, and like it's better.
If data centers had RGB on it, I think people would be more into that.
I think so.
Unless it's like some kind of a status indicator. Why is it red?
The chrysanthemums are pulsing. Well, we've got a report, and I forget the original source on this one. 50% of data centers have been either stricken down, put on permanent hold, or just outright canceled.
Yay.
Some of them are on short-term hold, but still, it's 50% of the projects are on pause or canceled. It's mostly due to pushback from neighbors. It's the not in my backyard mentality. They're going to town councils and voicing their disconcerting. That word, discontent with the data centers.
They're cheap camping
they're
gear.
They're loud. They're annoying. Data centers, not the people.
They've also found that they're causing health problems in people that live near them. Ultrasonic frequencies do affect the human body.
I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah. Well, they're not ultrasonic. It's actually subsonic, really, isn't it?
Subsonic.
Yeah, subsonic. My mistake.
Subsonic.
Right.
All of it.
I think it was Ben Jordan did a really great video on that. It's still like very new, and so there's not a ton of research on in specific data centers, but there is lots of research on subsonic frequencies and the effects it can have on people. And he was able to pretty clearly demonstrate that data centers are creating a whole lot of subsonic frequencies that are quite loud.
I've got story time on that. So there was a chicken farm many years ago, and a factory was built nearby. And within like 6 months, all the chickens on the farm just started dying, like thousands of chickens dead, and they couldn't figure out what was causing it. And after some research, they found that the subsonic harmonics that were coming from that factory were resonating at the same frequency as the chickens. So it was actively killing the chickens with the frequencies. It was specifically the skulls.
Sympathetic vibration of a chicken. That's bad.
Their skulls specifically.
I love how graphic you're getting here, Artie. This is great. Keep going.
I mean, I like my eggs scrambled, but I don't know if that's how I want it done.
But in all honesty, like, that's horrible. I mean, chickens, they're not. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there are lots of people that have chickens for a pet, but I mean, imagine a lot more people have dogs and cats and all these other pets, and I mean, if they can do that to a chicken, I mean, imagine the discomfort that all these other animals that can maybe even hear some of these lower frequencies that we can't, or higher frequencies, the torture that they must be under.
Right.
So I got a question about the data centers. Like, is there any indication of like how much, maybe just in the US, maybe worldwide, I don't know. Has anybody ever figured out like how much data is even being used right now versus like how much capacity is left in our existing data centers versus that against like what are the requirements going to be in like 5-10 years or something? Because you talk about these data centers not being built or being put on hold or whatever's happening to them. Is there going to become a point where we have to do something because there's going to be like a data crisis, data storage crisis if we don't have them? I
think it's more of, there's multi-pronged to this. So we're running short on electricity. We're running short on components to put in there. Just the PLCs necessary to run these places. They're having a hard time fulfilling those orders. The water. There's not enough resource to get these things going, and people are realizing that these data centers are sucking up that resource. Artie, you were saying that prices of kilowatt hours are going up 15 or 20 cents per kilowatt hour in some places. Which
just speculating on that. That's not definitive. That was just an example, like explaining it. When you're trying to explain to somebody, it's it's not an insignificant amount that the electricity is going up. It's enough that you're going to notice it.
And it's for all of us, not just the data center. We all have to share the price on that. So I think to answer your question there, Mike, we've got a data center that has X amount of compute potential. Let's say it can do 100,000 AI prompts per minute. Well, if you got 2 data centers, you could do double the prompts per minute. If you have half of it, you slow down and it can't do as much. So I think it's more they're trying to build for future demand that's not yet there, or more complex data models. I mean, everybody's in the race for AGI.
There's also the fact that these data centers are not necessarily just for computing, they are also for storage. Because you look at something like YouTube, hi YouTube viewers, we are using dramatically more storage space every year than the previous one just for YouTube. And there are hundreds of companies out there that have cloud storage like that. and they're constantly increasing the amount that they've got.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at, because like you look at like video resolution, like it used to be that 720p was pretty fantastic on a computer. Now it's like the third to last option in your resolution settings, and videos are being offered anywhere from, you know, standard HD all the way up to 4K or more, you know. And so
they're not streamed in that. They're streaming at the low rates, not the high rates.
Yeah, unless you're paying for premium, where you can get a higher bit rate stream or something like that. But even still, like the storage needed to store, you know, an old standard definition, you know, 1980s TV show at 640 by roughly 640 by 480 versus, you know, a high definition. You know, I fill up my hard drive faster with higher resolution pictures. That's really what it comes down to. Now, granted, we've made advancements in compression algorithms and everything that try to keep that to a minimum so that, you know, we're not explosively going through storage space like crazy. But I mean,
well, and
it still blows my mind that when I graduated high school, the size of my hard drive in my computer at that time now represents a portion of one file that I could be working on today. You know, like when I was working in Photoshop and image editing, I could easily be working on a file that would have more than filled my high school computer's hard drive. You know, a 40 megabyte, 80 megabyte file was not unheard of at that point. You know, and so it's just like, you know, and everything keeps scaling up. We get more RAM, we get more hard drive space, we get more. So now we have the ability to image at a higher resolution. We have storage to be able to store the higher resolutions. And it just makes me wonder, like, are we like in a critical crisis here where it's like, oh, we're running out of storage. We got to build these data centers so we have a place to put everything.
Yes.
Or is this more of it'd be nice to have so we can sell it because people are selling cloud space and, you know, AWS services and other kinds of cloud services, software as a service, and all kinds of other things that it's more nice to have. And it is, you brought up the thing, like it competes for our natural resources, you know, and we were talking earlier in the pre-show, like, in the state of Wyoming, we've got ideas that data centers should come here because we're the least populated state in the United States.
We've got good electricity. We've got lots of land.
But what about water? You know, and right now we're in a drought. Our winter was very, very dry this winter. We've had since last November, there's only really 2 decent snowstorms I can think of. And even then, those snowstorms weren't maybe than a few inches of snow that then melted off quite quickly. And we had lots of 60-degree days, and which is just really abnormal for this area to have that kind of weather. And so we look at the agriculture around here. We're praying for the farmers that they'll be able to water their crops and feed their livestock and make food for all of us to eat. So I don't know, food is a little more important than data center to me right now. Like,
no, we need that slop.
Well, so I mean, that's the thing. It's like, as we're sitting here talking about this, and like with every new thing that comes out, there is something that we all benefit from. I know all of us on this call right now, we all benefit from having an LLM to serve us something that's quick and summarize and whatnot, or help read through some Linux error message or whatever, you know, you name it. I have found that extremely useful. But the things that I don't find useful on a day-to-day basis is all of this image generation and video generation and all this other stuff that I think is a lot more compute intensive and storage intensive and just resource intensive in general. And I think that's kind of the issue with this explosion of AI that happened is Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, you name it. They all opened up these tools to the public because they needed the data and they needed the testing data to be able to improve their model. And now we're seeing, like you said, John, this AI bubble's kind of popping. The public access is kind of going away. They don't need that free, and it's quote unquote free because it's not really free, but they don't really need that anymore. And instead they're focusing on other things. Like you see OpenAI closed off the Sora project, right? I mean, they shut it down. You can't do video generation anymore with ChatGPT or Sora, I guess this is a better way to put it. And I think that's a good thing because I mean anyway, I think you get what I'm going with this. Like the super heavy computations are being used up by people that aren't. I mean, honestly, it's not. It's just being used for slop, right? And the actual useful things, I think, are things that if that was all we had to do, the current data centers that we have could handle that, and it wouldn't be this huge necessity to expand to double, triple the compute power of all the data centers on planet Earth in order to allow for some random Instagram page to make a bunch of AI slop.
And let's go to Mike's question and kind of expand on that a minute. What do we need more for? Everybody that's using AI right now is getting enough LLM or code building or any of those tools. Right now, it's enough. But here's another one to you. Yes, it's free because you can still sign up for free. Very soon, that's going to disappear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Free. Or it's going to be so riddled with ads that, you'll just painfully endure it, or you'll just stop using it because it's not that important.
And when that happens, and now that you're having to pay for it, and no longer that these data centers are being subsidized by these companies or the government or you name it, like you're going to start paying for that cost in your own energy bill or in your own water bill or whatever, because as a society, we've valued these data centers so highly that, they're going to do whatever it takes and they're going to start charging you for it. And then, you're going to realize that your cost of living is going up. And so I think it's a good thing that this bubble is popping, because I think we're going to save ourselves from a whole lot of stupid crap in the future, because, people are going to, realize, what, I don't really need that image generation. I don't need the video generation. I don't need all this. Like, I don't really care for it. I don't need it. And, I would rather have food or I would rather have, whatever, you name it.
I'd love to see these things turn into symbiotic things. So, okay, we're talking Cheyenne, right? It gets cold in the wintertime. How cool would it be if these gigawatt data centers provided geothermal heat like Iceland's, but do it through, AI transferred heat? Heat my home with the AI slop.
Yeah.
Question is, do we have to pay for that?
Yeah.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Any opportunity
to make a buck. I mean, why not? And actually, what Jackson was saying just made me think of something else about the image generation and everything. Like, so much of it, like I have to say 95% of it looks the same. Like, I know that there's people like putting out there like different ideas, different concepts, but when you look at it, it's just like it looks the same. It's hard to see how it's unique in its own way. Like when I look at something that an actual professional artist does, I can recognize, okay, there's their style. They like to paint here. The subject they like to paint is typically these kinds of subjects or whatever. But when AI does it, even though it can appear to be a different style, there's just something about it that's just like, yeah, and maybe it's the mistakes, or maybe it's and in fact, it goes back to kind of my graphic design days where we had where Photoshop and Illustrator and some of those graphics programs, they kept adding like these other filters. Everybody loved going in. The students loved going in to play with the filters, take a photo and apply a filter to it, and one of the things that I, as a teacher and even as a lab assistant, I tried to teach people is that the very basic rule is just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. Like, the filter's there for you to use, but you have to have a reason why you're using the filter. You don't just put the filter on just because it's a filter and it's there. And there's a girl I remember one time that she put a gradient on everything she did. Like, just like in the back, like just because you can, like, if there's a purpose for that, great, that's awesome. But if you're doing it just because you like to do it, then you're using it wrong. And I think that AI tends to do that. Like, it throws in these different little twirls or effects or this or that, and just because it can, but not because there's
like
a
that.
thought out reason to do it. Now, if the goal is
being able to spot it.
Yeah, the goal is to say, I want you to make it look like you did it, well then, yeah, do it. But it's just, there's so much stuff that just looks the same. And so, yeah, I'm with Jackson. Like, why are we spending all this computing power on this? And then even to that, if we are going to build these data centers or these AI machines to do image generation, I think it needs to be like for a specific purpose. Like, I could see Hollywood, like, and it just goes back to everything else that's built up to now, like render houses for 3D rendering or something. You build something and we say, we do this very specific thing and we do it very well. And that's what we focus on. And in the meantime, AI, like, we go to Chat GPT, which is a large language model, but then we're asking it to make images. Like, what does making an image have to do with a large language model? And then we're trying to make the Swiss Army knife of AIs that it can do it all, but it can't do any of it well, except maybe summarize, an article, which is the large language model.
Maybe that's why they're trying to build more data centers, to make it do better.
I think
double the resolution requires 4 times the number of pixels.
I think it's going to be better for people to just find a specialized niche and focus on that. And then that way you have your product that you can say, we sell this because we do it better than anybody else, because that's all we focus on.
Well, we sell camera filters that make you look like you're somebody else.
Well, the last
if you
comment
mean Instagram,
I'll
just say Instagram.
Last comment I'll give on these, and then we can move on. But I mean, I had this thought. I'm a big propellant of doing your own self-hosting since I've started doing it myself. I love it. I love not having to go out to cloud resources to get whatever. I have it all, most of it done locally. And I'm wondering if there is a good, clean, solid solution out there, especially with these LLMs, right? Like, for me, the only useful part that's coming out of AI for me is just the large language model data processing part of it, right?
Yeah.
And so how long will it be until we have, or will it ever be a thing where you can buy a one-time purchase, not a subscription, one-time purchase product? It's a PC or whatever, optimized to do whatever you need to do for LLM. You can host it yourself, and then you have your own private AI that will respond to you. It doesn't need to reach out to servers. And then
there are several right now.
Well, that's good, and I hope they become popular for the people who aren't technically minded and maybe don't have that ability to kind of do that themselves, but they can go out and purchase something, and if they have that need, they don't have to pay for a subscription and then be part of this massive, data pool that's having to be processed by all these data centers. Let's pull that load off of these data centers and have something that's not very power hungry that just runs in my own home, and it's mine. I have full control over it.
You technically can with some of them. You just need to get an interface head, and then you just load the large language model behind that, and the head is just the interface for it. The issue is that you have to find and download the entire model, which, I mean, one that I found was like 750 gigs for the entire thing.
But you don't have to download the whole thing. You can download a reduced targeted sized piece. They're getting more efficient at this now. So, yeah, it all comes down to how deep and complex do you want the answers from the prompts you throw at it. If you just want quick answers to math questions or, homework, whatever, you can do that. If you want to model the Artemis 2 trip to the moon, okay, might need some more horsepower than that, more data points. But so Claude, they just got leaked. Did you see that?
I heard about it. Yeah. Yeah, they got leaked, and then someone translated everything into Python and then open sourced it, whatever.
So yeah, you can get it, but within just a few minutes of the leak.
Did they use AI to do the translation?
Yes.
I think they did.
And then other people have used AI to inject their own malware into those. So I highly recommend nobody go download it, because Anthropic has gone through with DMC takedown requests, cease and desist orders, all those to shut down all those that are hosting out the leaked data. It's a total self-own. Some human over at Anthropic accidentally posted this. Wasn't on purpose. Wasn't AI slip up. This was genuine born human error. So,
well, I think I remember they didn't like directly post it, but there was some vulnerability that they should have known about, or there's something they should have avoided, right?
it was a checkbox.
Oops.
I mean, I'm being shorthanded on that, but it's no more complex than, hey, would you like to post this? Okay, do you want this? You want this? You want this? Yes, yes, yes. And then the GitHub
public.
just made it public.
Check this box if you don't want company secrets to be given out to the world.
It's like the Far Side comic where the guy's sitting in the seat where there's a switch next to him that says wings stay on, wings fall off.
Why that switch even exists? I mean, really.
But I got a trick for you guys, and this I want to actually throw into like a short or something. I want this message to get out. Do you know how to keep track of the person you're talking to make sure they're not a deep fake? Because you could get filters and make yourself look like somebody else using AI in a live stream. There's been many cases of that. I got a trick for you guys.
How's that?
I want you to do this. Hold up 3 fingers and put it in front of your face.
Like this? In front of your face?
Yeah. 3 fingers.
Just 3?
Just 3. 4, it can handle. 3, it makes it into 4.
Really?
Or you get aberrations in between the fingers. So, Jackson, you haven't done it. Are you a deep fake?
Here, I'm holding up my 3 fingers.
There are 5 fingers.
Does it matter which fingers? Do you have to do it like that, or can you do that?
No. But if you're in like an interview or something, or your job meetings, or hanging out with people that, I'm past the dating phase, but Jackson, you're getting into the dating phase. If you meet somebody, you want to make sure that it's actually Sally and not Ralph, then have Sally put 3 fingers up in front of her face.
I'll tell my girlfriend. I'll make sure. I'll put her through several exercises tonight to make sure all is well.
Well, I mean, if you see her face to face, it doesn't count. Well, I guess, hey, do what you want. I mean, it's
I'm
your
taking
date.
no precautions around here.
And if you don't want them, if you really do not want them to be suspicious, you just ask them politely if they'll throw up a West Side sign. It's a joke.
I mean, that would really throw off any AI because you're not working with fingers. Now you're crossing over and adding crossed fingers. That'd be weird. But yeah, I want that message to get out. That's a fantastic way. Jim Browning actually started using that on some of the scammers that he's been tracking. So, yeah, AI. It's bringing a whole new world. I don't know if it's a good one. Don't know if it's a bad one, but I do know RAM prices have suffered because of it. I still say I don't understand why AI data centers are more profitable than the consumer, and people are okay with this. Whoever's building the data center should have heard that and said, let's renegotiate the price of that RAM, because I hear you're kind of gouging us a bit. Give me 10% off. Give me 20% off. Let's get this data center in for $800 gajillion instead of $900 gajillion.
Well, and with 50% of these data centers now not being built or being put on hold, that's going to hurt.
They still have to technically fulfill the contract. Otherwise, that gets into a huge legal morass where, the contract is there for, say, 1 million units of this RAM chip, and you're now saying that you only need 500,000. You still have to buy 1 million.
Yeah, I hope they don't hold that one. I want that RAM in my personal computer.
Yeah, I do too, but it's what is it? Corporate law. When it comes to contracts, you have to fulfill it. If you do not fulfill it, then it's breach of contract and you owe penalties. So it will cost them more if they don't go through with it.
That's how the 1990s version of the Ford Taurus SHO came around. I'm a big fan of that car. Have I told anybody on that?
Yeah, you've told me a few stories about that one.
I don't think you've talked about it on the program, though.
It's getting me to shut up about the subject that's the problem, right?
This is tech hour, not car hour.
Well, I mean, it's welcome to the tech show. We're going to talk about SHO. The Ford Taurus, right? It's a grandma's grocery getter, like 4-door sedan. Like, that's not a stylish car whatsoever.
No.
Ford Motor Company contracted with Yamaha to get a bunch of high-end sports car engines for a touring car that they were going to put in Europe.
We like Yamaha.
So the contract, much like Artie was saying, was set. And you can't back out of it. They were committed to these, but they scrapped the project in Europe for whatever reason. They're like, all right, fine. Let's just throw these in the Ford Taurus. Who cares? It's just grandma's car. It turns out it was faster than the police interceptor package.
Well, that's where the song Little Old Lady from Pasadena comes from.
These cars were awesome. It was so powerful that Ford Jr. the third, or I forget who it was. It was the third. He said, we cannot let the Ford Taurus beat our Mustang GT. Thou shalt nerf the car, destroy its performance, so the Mustang is king. So if you were savvy, you could go into your Ford Taurus and retune the car and have a fast car. Super cool. I had one. I missed that car.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so like, I don't know, the RAM. So you mentioned that the prices are starting to come down a little bit.
They're starting to come down now. It's not a reset, but it's trending downwards right now. Nobody knows where it's going to go. It's just going to be based on the price of natural resource and availability of things. Now, we've got a global conflict going on right now. I don't want to call it what it is. I don't want to get politics into this, but resources are about to get very scarce. That's going to impact things.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the RAM comes down. Hopefully they reboot the fabrication plants that make this RAM so that we can have computers again, because computers are a good thing. But kind of fascinating.
Can't do any of my self-hosting if I don't have any RAM to use.
Or routers. Yeah, we talked last week about the FCC banning routers. Artie, you got a news story this week.
Yes, I do. I came across an article from Krebs on Security that is talking about there's a vulnerability that was discovered by multiple locations that's been going on since at least August of last year. And it was a very low-tech hack into older models of routers. The ones that they name are MikroTik and TP-Link. And a group of state-sponsored threat actors have been using the vulnerability to change the DNS and redirect traffic from any Microsoft-related information transfers to their servers. And they've been essentially skimming OAuth tokens for Microsoft Office for months. And the numbers that they found in the surveillance dragnet was 18,000 networks. Not routers, networks.
Wow.
Whoa.
So
a little bit of damage.
If somebody more educated on what an OAuth token is could explain what that is for our viewers, I'd appreciate that.
the silence.
What grade level do you want, Artie?
For our viewers, so they might know a little bit, but
don't disrespect our viewers, man.
Hey, I know next to nothing. You can explain it to me. Go ahead.
Our viewers have got to be some of the smartest people, because I mean they're following us. They're keeping up on this. They're laughing at our jokes. We got some of the best viewers. Like and subscribe.
Explain it to Jackson.
So you log in. We'll go basic here, since you said define it like it's basic.
Can
when you log in,
stand as an analogy.
Yeah, it's you go back and forth with Microsoft servers. Server says, "Hey, are you Jackson?" You say, "Yes, I'm Jackson." Server says, "Prove it." Okay, here's your two-factor, and you say, "Okay, here's my two-factor." And it says, "Great, now let's talk to your operating system. Let's talk to your application. Make sure that you're really who you say you are." Once that's all verified, you get basically like a day pass.
Which is like
that day pass, that token. Cookie, right? No, it's more complex than a cookie. Okay. But think of like Ticketmaster with their new tickets, how you can't copy them. Have you seen that?
I haven't used Ticketmaster, but go ahead.
Ticketmaster solved a problem by having an active ticket that when you show up to the booth, this actually helps with this analogy. When I go up to a concert and I say, "This is me, this is my ticket," my phone links up to Ticketmaster servers and gives me a QR code for that moment for my ticket. So if somebody's in line and takes a picture of my phone, or I do a screen capture and share it to you, doesn't work. It has to be real-time interface with their servers. The OAuth token is much the same way. It's part of who you are, but once you've proven it, you're in. So that just sits there as a stale, static, in-moving proof of authentication. That's a point of vulnerability. You can pick that up and run with it. Many YouTubers have lost their accounts because the token still exists on their system, and a scammer got in, stole the token, hijacked their account because they're authenticated. Microsoft has the same problem. That's why system administrators should not log in with their system administrator account and be the system administrator when they're interfacing with the systems they're in charge of. You should have an administrator account, and then you, the user, should be on a separate account that doesn't have admin rights. So if somebody steals your credentials, they can't get in. So the OAuth token, that's the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
I should say it's the keys to your own kingdom.
So Artie, describe again the vulnerability is in older routers.
Yes. I don't know the exact methodology. They didn't explain the methodology in the sources that I was looking at, but
and they won't, because it's still a vulnerable point.
It's still a vulnerable point, and it's across again thousands of routers.
See, now here's the problem with routers. Here's my take. You know, for a period of time, probably in the mid 2010s, maybe even going as far as early 2000s, routers were having a heyday. You know, they were making routers too good. People still have routers that are 20 years old and they work great, and that's the problem. They made stuff too good. On one end, you have the routers from mid 2000s, and then on the other end, you have printers of reliability in this scale. So, yeah, I think a lot of people. I mean, I go over to people's houses all the time, and I see like these routers from like, yeah, again, like the early 2000s that they're still using. I'm like, hey, I mean, that's cool, but I bet that thing's so far out of date and super vulnerable.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And the worst adage I keep hearing, even today, is I haven't been hacked yet.
Yeah, right.
You haven't been hacked that you know of yet.
That's true.
Like, I haven't been hacked yet, and like my computer runs super slow. There's all this, all these pop-ups that keep happening.
Can't you do anything about the spam I keep getting? I'm perfectly fine. No vulnerabilities. Yeah, it's an interesting time we live in. The Microsoft getting rid of the control panel, that's not helping us either.
Ugh. So,
Well,
go ahead, Mike.
To be fair, I don't mind that control panel has gone away as long as I can get to the same settings, you know, whatever the new way is. If it's through like the settings option now in the start menu, then fine. As long as I can get to and configure what I need to configure, then that's fine. To be truthful, I never actually liked the control panel. Anyway, I never, you know, I was like, what first came up, it was always in this, like the simplified view with like those, top 8, 10, whatever it was, categories. And then you had to like kind of drill down and find like, okay, it's a networking thing. So let's go to networking. And, you know, and so then I would always switch it to the advanced view where it kind of broke things out a little bit more. But then it still just seemed like it was hard to navigate for some reason, the way it was laid out and everything.
It was. And it still is.
I like the one previous to that.
I was coming from being a Mac user and coming to system settings, and things seem to be more organized on a Mac. And so when Windows, I think it was Windows 10, when they started really moving away from control panel as we know it, like you could still do control panel, but they're just starting to change the interface. And then as we went through Windows 10 and now into 11 and everything, they've, you know, moved those features over into the new system as much as they could. I haven't really had a complaint about it. As long as I can find what I need to find. If I need to go change a network adapter, I need to be able to get to wherever that control screen is to change the settings for a network adapter. If I can get to that, I'll be fine.
So I'm still rocking on Windows 10. I found a way to pin the network control applet to my start bar.
Yeah.
So like it's one window to get to the IP settings. It's not click a button to click a button to click a button.
No, that was the thing. Control panel was the king of is you get there and like Mike was saying, well then you have to go to the advanced panel, which is just broken up. You can actually get to what you want. And then you get to what you want, and then there's 12 links on there that will each open up its own separate window, and each window has like 12 tabs. And so yeah, I mean I'm happy if it moves to settings. Settings is kind of nicer to navigate in some ways. In other ways,
there's probably still some improvements that settings could make, but
yeah, settings needs a lot of improvements. I also don't like setting kind of abstracts a lot sometimes, a little bit more than I wish it would. So yeah, I'm with Mike. Like if they actually truly do migrate everything, then okay, that's nice, and then you can just focus on making settings better. But I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I mean, this is a tweet from March Rogers. I don't remember actually. He's the director of design. That's right. He said, "We're working our way through migrating all the old control panel controls into the modern settings apps. We're doing it carefully because there are a lot of different network and printer devices and drivers. We need to make sure we don't break in the process." So
as they add Copilot to the whole stack.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I really believe when you say all the old control panels. Like I feel like it's gonna suck. It's gonna be like, well, I can't get to the setting anymore, and I've
lost a fourth layer to get to it.
Yeah, and the other thing that I kind of popped in the back of my head when I was first reading this, I was like, you know what, this sounds a lot like whenever I get a little bit too deep down a rabbit hole in some coding project, and I'm like, it would really just be better for me to nuke it and start over. And I feel like Windows has been that for the last 10 years, where it's like, we kind of just need to start over, write everything from scratch, and I don't think they'll do it.
It's very lightweight and efficient code.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legacy app or code when you see that the icons are from like Windows 95.
Yeah.
Like that's a 16 color bitmap graphic from Windows 95 that they're still using for this app because they haven't really updated the app all that much, except maybe just to tweak it to make it work with the new operating system, or whatever.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. If Windows really wants to be the operating system, like if they want to go back to the 90s, then I think they need to do that. They need to start fresh and be like, all right, I mean, I'm not saying you have to get rid of like the UI and all that stuff. Like, sure,
I am.
like, I mean, if you want to keep where you've gotten, like, sure, but I think you need to get there again from zero, because there's just been junk piled on top of junk on top of junk, and
good code. There's mixed in good code.
Right, there's mixed in good code. So I mean, they really just need to figure out how to pull that good code out and make another lightweight operating system that does what we want it to do. And I feel like there's got to be people that work at Microsoft that are screaming to do it, but it's such a monumental task. You have to have all of Microsoft on board and willing to dedicate a lot of time and resources to rebuilding the code base and making it work and making it compatible with everything that Windows supports.
To those that are still with us in the comments section here, who would like to see a Windows Classic mode come back? You used to be able to switch your desktop view to a classic Windows, jumping back to like an XP style layout, but they got rid of that because progress and change and more buttons, and we need to. I want Windows Classic, where you can choose XP look or Windows 7 look, or dare I say it, Windows 10.
I don't miss the XP look. All the glass bubbles. No. It was
okay.
neat at the time, but no.
We'll get you Windows 8, Mike.
I will be happy.
No.
I mean, if
as
you
soon
really want to
as rounded
regress,
corners.
if you really want to regress, let's go all the way back to when Windows was just an environment for DOS.
So 98.
3.1.
3.1.
98 was the change.
Or earlier. Yeah, 98 was the change, because even 95, it was technically, I think, still an environment for DOS, wasn't it?
It was starting to blur
Ish.
the line.
Yeah, ish.
It's still booted to DOS.
Yeah.
I will be happy with Windows when they allow me to have sharp corners instead of rendering curved corners on every single window.
That's what I'm saying. Bring back Windows Classic. Give me a choice on my view. Winamp had skins 25 years ago.
I remember that.
Why can't we have that now? Have skins for Windows. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
make
the
that
thing. I think
suggestion, because then you're going to have to farm the skins by doing tasks in Windows.
And then it'll be illegal in like 13 states because it's now a gambling addiction kind of thing.
No, that's only if you get them through loot boxes. You have to, you do tasks in Windows. Like you've got to click 1 million times to get this skin. Really, really.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's cookie clicker now. Great. If only. Well, I'd love to hear the comments on this one. But those of you still with us, please like, subscribe, because we're going to keep this going. I don't know how long, but we're going to keep going. Till then, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I'm dehydrated.
And that's why we're ending the show now. Go drink some water, Artie.